the lack of content and lack of support, especially communication between us and the developers, it makes me not want to play the game. It makes me not want to play the game.
All right, my friends, we are here live with another fellow player. This time we are traveling to Sector 58. My friend, would you please introduce yourself for everyone?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Truth. I'm the Marshal of the Blood Angels, Son, S-O-N. We're the #1 alliance in Sector 58, so I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on to the show. So you are actually not that far from me. I am on server 51, so you started relatively around the same time I did.
Yeah, I think I'd like to say like around June. I'm not sure. Time goes by fast, man. So it's kind of hard to know.
What is your server like? Do you guys have actually here's a better question. How many active alliances would you even say are currently in your server at this time?
That's a good question. So I'd like to state off that the Blood Angels, Son, we have kind of a brotherhood alliance with the top 3 alliances. The top 3 alliances are all under us, and I'd say those are probably the only active ones. And then there's 2 other ones that are a little bit more active. So in total, I'd probably say 5 alliances, if that.
Wow, that's crazy. So then are all the alliances full? Do they all have like a full amount of players? Or I should say, how many players do you think are actively playing?
Yeah, that's the thing is there's a lot of people on at the beginning, and now it's just dropped like a rock. I would say like how many people are active in those alliances are half. I mean, it says 65, you know?
Yeah.
But like if you go on the sector Discord, there's barely anybody talking. Nobody's really talking in sector chat. I'd say like half, you know. As far as my alliance goes, we're all fully active. We have a couple people that are a couple days inactive, but they come back every once in a while. So it's pretty rough.
Wow, yeah, it sounds kind of like my server as well. Yeah. Man, I'm really trying to find. I'm gonna have to start looking for some of these new servers. I just want to see if I can find an active server. I mean, one that's not the newest server, but man, so we're at what, 50? What did you say, 58?
Yeah,
58, and it's a dead server. So we're gonna have to travel to like maybe we'll travel to like server 80. Because I think the newest server right now is in like 95 or something. There's like 95 or something servers. They're almost at 100, which is crazy.
Yeah, they keep opening them up, and like I'm looking at my VIP chest right now. Like I've logged in 95 days consecutively, and I've been Marshal day 1. You know, it's crazy. Like, what is that? 3 months? We're already running out of content. Like we're all really struggling to find reasons to even play every single day. You know, and as a leader, it sucks, but it's like I don't blame my guys if all they do is, you know, log on and farm. That's all there really is to do, especially when we're the biggest alliance on our sector.
So what do you guys do for Breach the Storm when you have the last PvP event? How do you guys get points?
We do pretty good. There's a lot. I mean, almost the entire server is dead. There's like probably like 10 to 15 people that really participate in the kill event at the very end. I would say that the kill event is probably the main reason why the server died, is because there's only so many pay-to-win players on our server. Like I would say almost all of them are inside my alliance, and we pretty much just demolished everybody because we were all trying to compete for each other, and that made all the free-to-play players quit.
Gotcha. All right, I have another question. Do you think the server would have been better if not all of the pay-to-win players were in the same guild? Like, say you had 10 big spenders. If each of those 10 big spenders were actually the marshal of 10 separate alliances, do you think the server would be better?
Oh, definitely. Like, there's a lot of like, oh, what if this happens? You know, we're kind of remembering back to if things were better, looking at how the status is right now. How it ended up being is it was my alliance versus another one, which was called Dominion. They're super cool guys, but eventually their leadership kind of failed, so they kind of just joined with us, and that's how we ended up with all the big spenders. Now we have them all, and nobody else really spends that much money on the game, so we end up steamrolling everybody.
Even though people will say that, and I will, say the same thing, the game hurts the player base just because it feels like there is no end game and there's not enough content in the game itself. So that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people leave. But I also think the fact that the players also play a huge role in the survivability of the server, basically because a lot of the pay to win players all decide to go to the same alliance, and it's kind of like all the other people who may not spend as much, if they don't really get in that alliance, then they feel like, oh, why should I even play? And I think if people would stop doing that in the servers and not having all the whales just go to one group, and they would actually space it out, and I think there would be more competition. It would be a lot more fun. But like I said, I think that's the biggest issue, is all the big spenders want to be with the big spenders. It's like a whale is afraid to verse a whale in competition. And I think that absolutely destroys the server, because you can't have all the whales on one guild, because there are people who just don't financially cannot spend money, but they'll be active and they want to play and enjoy the game, but there's nothing they can do when all the big spenders are together. And I think that's a huge problem that I think the player base itself ruins the server.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. It's really hard, especially when we're getting to like Battle Barge 30. Like, I'm on Battle Barge 32 and I've spent over 1,000. I've used just my stimulus check. That's how I'm paying for this, just because it's kind of free money at this point. So I've kind of just spent all that money, and I'm only at Battle Barge 32, and we have, a couple guys that are more than that, and like you said, not everybody can afford that. Yeah. So once you get to that point, once you have T7s, T8s, God forbid T9s, you can just steamroll everybody. And there's no protection for the low level players at all. Once you jump in, you have to I think it's like Battle Barge 12, and then you can be seen on the map. It should be especially in later servers, older servers, it should be to Battle Barge 25 till other players can see you. There has to be some kind of protection, or else there's no point in joining these older servers. And if they keep opening new servers, then that's just where the new people are going to go. They don't want to get steamrolled by all these whales,
Oh, exactly. 100% exactly. How do you think the server merge is going to go? What is your opinion on the server merge?
So everything that we do is geared towards server merge. It's been like that since day one. I've always held that value true. It's like, okay, we get to number 1 first on our server, then we go to server merge. So what we did is we created what's called the BAC. It's just the Blood Angels community. And we made it so any alliances under us would just be Blood Angel successor chapters, if you know your lore and whatnot, would be under us. And so the idea was the BAC would be strong for server merge, but it kind of blew up in our faces that people didn't want to join with us. So that's what kind of ended up people attacking us, and in response we had to zero them. So as far as how the server merge is going to go, I hope that what they do is they pair us up with people that are in the same power range as us. I feel like that would be the best way to do it, because we're rank 69 out of the top 100 alliances. So I feel like we need to be paired up with the bigger dogs instead of being paired up with these smaller alliances if there's going to be people that are actually active at that point. So I think the server merge isn't going to go well, honestly, especially how these things are looking. like especially hearing from you and the other interviews you've done, seeing how people are in the same boat. I don't know how people on the older servers have survived this long, how they want to play this game this long, you know? So I don't know. It's going to be rough for sure.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea how they're going to do it either. Another question I have, what is your biggest complaint about the game right now, currently?
I think everything that we're talking about is
lack of players.
Yeah, lack of players and lack of content, especially at the, I guess, quote unquote end game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say there's an end game, if at all.
Yeah.
Like once I hit Battle Barge 30, like it's super hard to get resources, you know, and I was even a pay to win player for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely pay to win, which I think we all knew getting into this game, but it's to the point where there's no longevity. Like there's no longevity content or end game situations where it makes any of us want to play that long. You know, the first couple months, dude, I love this game. I was having so much fun. The lack of content and lack of support, especially communication between us and the developers, it makes me not want to play the game.
100%. I honestly think they didn't even think that people would still be playing this long, honestly, the way it looks, because the game is very fun when you first start. Those first servers, like the new servers that they're opening up, I guarantee those new players, they're having a boatload of fun. And they don't know what's in for them, because once they hit like Battle Barge 25, I feel like it just completely flatlines and you just get to the point where there's nothing to do. And I think they honestly didn't, the developers didn't think of, you know, what should we do when people do get later. Their whole idea was, oh, let's just increase the Battle Barge cap and keep them chasing for the new level of Battle Barge. That's honestly all they seem to have done. The new heroes are an absolute joke. Most of them you can't even get without spending a bunch of money.
Yeah. Like we've even, a bunch of us have gone over to server 89. Shout out to Sons of Horus 89. I think we're ranked number 3 right now. Like, and it's been a blast to restart again, but it's like it only lasts so long. Yep. You know, like there's already people on that server that are reaching 30.
I don't want to make this too long, but thank you so much for coming on here and just answering my questions and just giving me your feedback and your opinion on the game. It's been a blast chatting with you. I will open up the floor and you can say whatever you want, shout outs or whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here. Shout out to everybody who's in Blood Angels Sun and also in the BAC. I'd like to give a personal shout out to my guy Garval. Super awesome guy. He's helped out a lot. I appreciate him. Love you guys, and hopefully the developers see this and they start to do their job.
Awesome. Thank you for being on here, my friend. I will catch you later.